Bacon, Americanus laudum, is one of the most beloved foods in the world. It is worshipped for its savory, crispy, and most of all greasy goodness. Today we are going to take a deep dive into a phenomenon experienced by nearly everyone, but understood by only a select few: the journey through the alimentary canal, the digestion of lipids. We begin our journey at the mouth, where the bacon is chewed through the process known as mastication. The now chewed bacon is called bolus and migrates to the esophagus. The esophagus is the I-85 highway to the stomach. Not much occurs here aside from the transportation of food. The bacon travels down the esophagus for about 2 to 3 seconds. From the esophagus, the bolus makes its way to the stomach. The stomach is the next stage of our journey, an environment so extreme that even stainless steel dissolves in it. The extreme environment is not without a purpose, however. The hydrochloric acid that makes up the interior of the stomach serves to break down the bolus and kill bacteria. Lurking within the acid pit that is the stomach are multitudes of enzymes called pepsin, waiting to break down the proteins in our bacon bolus into amino acids. The stomach also employs the use of mechanical digestion to aid in the breaking down of our bolus in the form of peristaltic contractions of the smooth muscle. These wave-like motions combined with the harsh stomach acid turn our bacon bolus into a mushy gloop called chyme. We then move out of the stomach and into the first section of the small intestine, the duodenum. This will be our focus today, as it is where lipids are digested and broken down into their monomers. As our bacon chyme enters the duodenum, bile, produced in the liver and stored in the gallbladder, is released. Once the bile enters the duodenum, it comes into contact with the globules of fat. At this point, it begins the process of emulsification, which is when the bile salts engulf the lipid globules and split them into smaller pieces. This helps the pancreatic lipase to break down the lipids because it increases the surface area. The lipase attaches to the lipids and breaks them down into their monomers, glycerol and fatty acids. These are then absorbed in our next destination, the lower small intestine. After the bacon chyme is moved out of the stomach, it enters the small intestine. The chyme goes through peristalsis during mechanical digestion. This happens from the outer longitudinal muscle layer contracting to allow for peristalsis to occur. This moves the chyme unidirectionally from the mouth to the rectum. Segmentation occurs by the inner circular layer of smooth muscle in the small intestine. This contracts the muscle back and forth, which increases the mixing of the bacon and enzymes and increases the absorption rate. The monomers of the lipids that were previously digested in the duodenum are then absorbed into the lacteals, the inner vessels of the lymphatic system within the villi. Sodium bicarbonate is then released from the pancreas into the small intestine to create a livable environment for pH-sensitive enzymes. After the small intestine, our bacon chyme enters the large intestine. Here we see mechanical digestion taking place. Peristalsis occurs more slowly here compared to the small intestine. Haustral contractions are sluggish segmentation movements that occur every 30 minutes and last about 1 minute each. This process helps aid in the absorption of excess water and salts. Next, we move to the mass movements, occurring about 3 times a day and post-meals. These movements help stimulate the need to defecate. The large intestine stores feces and supports bacteria that aid in the production of vitamins B and K. It also synthesizes to help maintain blood sugar levels and helps with skin, hair, and nail health. Unlike the small intestine, the large intestine does not have villi and contains more goblet cells that function in the secretion of mucus. This mucus eases the movement of feces and protects the large intestine from bacteria and their byproducts. Thank you for joining me on today's journey through the alimentary canal, digestion of lipids.